Alright, we will get going here in just a second. We're going to get back into building this. So the first round, we had the basics of the temple. We constructed the inner island and the first ring of water. We're going to get into a little more focus on the temple now. You hear a bunch of noise in the background. It's because I am getting caffeinated for the stream. Apologies for that. I've been starting them a little bit early because my OBS client has been acting up on me and not always wanting to start smoothly, so I have to let it go for a few minutes before I'm ready to actually start, just to make sure it's got a stable connection to all the platforms. All right. All right, it's looking like we're live, which is good. This is a good thing. It's looking like we're live, which is good. Okay, so we shall get into it. All right, so kind of got a new idea here. Like before the cataclysm, there was balance in nature. This temple has a fire and water element to it. And that maybe this lava here is not
actually a harbinger of doom in the beginning of the cataclysm. Maybe. We'll see. We're going to run with that theory for now and see where it takes us. Alright. So we got to get some more lava in here because we don't have quite enough. So we can... Oh, that's very low. I think we need to make that a little higher, though. All right. Yeah, so in the assets, I found they have this, which they're using in the dungeon right now as a kind of a thing you can click on to get information. But I noticed that it's called Fire Crystal. And in the assets of the builder, they also have this guy, who's known as a Water Crystal. If you can see, I'm not sure if it actually adds water into the world or not, but it kind of looks like it would. So we had these blue and red crystals, and that kind of gave me this idea of like, what if there was like some sort of elemental balance? I'm guessing in the current game world, there's going to be some kind of conflict of sorts, since after all, this kind of game is often about conflict resolution. But we're building the before time, so we try to imagine these elements in harmony and what that might have looked like. We literally know nothing about the lore. There's very minor hints in some of the items in the lore, just the lore flavor text of the descriptions. There's some hints of names and places and maybe certain people that did or didn't like other certain people, but what the actual state of the world is intended to be and why, that's all really up in the air. There's really no information about that yet. And it, that doesn't surprise me, because even as they get closer to launch, I wouldn't be surprised if there's not much aside from the occasional hint at the lore, because part of the reason that a lot of people play the game is to discover that stuff. I know not everybody. Some people don't care about the lore at all. Some people absolutely obsess over lore in games like this. Diablo has a good proportion of both. For me personally, I really love the Diablo lore. It's very interesting for me. I like it, and I think that I hope and think that this game probably will be the same for me. I'll be interested in knowing the story of, okay, we're playing in a post-cataclysmal world. Why is it like that? What was it like before that? What happened to make it like that? I find all that very interesting. Alright, I think this fire pillar needs to be a little bit higher. Yeah, it looks better. Maybe even one more. Yeah, that's cool. Should the water pillar be higher too? We don't have a neat thing like the fortress to frame it, though. What other kind of base could we put it on? Well, we don't want to put it on a bogey warren, that's for sure. Scaffold, temple. It's already on a temple. Ruins 4. I don't know what that looks like. I guess water could go on there, but that's... Nah, I don't think so. Alright, let's finish reconstructing this corner, shall we? I think everything on this corner needs to have dark temple caps. Got some rogue lava over here. Where there's two different... That's interesting. There's two different Dark Temple tiles. They seem to be mostly the same. There's got to be some... I'm sure they wouldn't include... Unless it was an accidental copy. Seems like there's got to be something different about them. Sure, though. Okay. So, actually, let's see. I think this column here, this whole column needs to be Dark Temple. Because it's going to be, it's burned from all the lava that's flowed down it. Oh, those are not even with each other. Hmm. So weird. Maybe we use the editor. Make sure we don't have other unintended things selected like we did before. Alright, let's try to get just these 3 tiles selected with the editing, with the select tool. And then we will level, smooth them in. We don't want any delta. We want it to be perfectly even. Use selection. Okay, so I thought that maybe when you're leveling with the template, a leveling delta of 0 would just make sure that it was all completely level with each other, but it seems that's not the case. If you set it to that, it just means nothing happens. All right. Okay, this is interesting because it's, even though, well, maybe I have to do it without a selection. Maybe the editor's not going to work for this. And actually, it's totally in the wrong place, too. Alright, we need to get the tile editor. Take that out. Take that out. In fact, we're going to take all this down to the stone. Everything on this side of center over here. That stuff can stay. We'll refill the lava later. We're not gonna, actually, you know what? We're gonna just clean this up right now. So with all the fluids, if you do the selection tool and you right click, it's like a sponge. So we're just gonna clean up all this lava, get it out of our way so it doesn't cause a mess. Now, putting this lava terrain here has given me an idea. So we're gonna change some stuff up. We're gonna go in the terrain tool and we're gonna just drop this down. Oh, let's see. Let's get rid of the selection just to make sure that doesn't interfere with what we're doing. And don't want that highlighted. Okay, so this is kind of weird. Why is it doing this? We need to go into... No, we're already there. Let's go to deposit. And we'll use right clicks to chunk it down. There we go. All this. We're gonna clear all this stuff down. We're gonna go right down to the source. Alright, let's see, what else do we... Yeah, we need to take this terrain out too. Because on the other part there's lava, and then there's bedrock, and then there's wall. And then... So we're sitting on lava, but we're also surrounded by water. So this is the reason why this temple is at this precise location, because the natural elements are in balance here. There is a volcanic caldera, and there is lava here, and it's surrounded by the sea, kept contained by the water, hence the temple dedicated to fire and water. Alright, so on this side of the temple, now, I wonder if it needs to be this entire end of the temple. There's a deeper connection here. I think where the stairs are, we'll leave it. So we'll go with the rock, and we will use our editing selector again now. Actually, you know what? I think we need to take this whole front wall off. Because everything is misleveled now after our earlier mishap with the air. I had some interred air and I was trying to mess around with burying treasure in the ground, and it caused an explosion that rippled across the whole terrain and crushed everything. So, but yeah, you gotta experiment. That's how you figure stuff out, and here you gotta experiment. Alright, so we will use selection. Alright, we take all of our, first we'll take out all of our tiles. Get rid of all the building tiles on that row. And now we're going to say from here to the corner, this is going to be nothing but lava. This is all going to be lava, and then the top part of it will be Dark Temple to show that it's singed from all the lava over the time. And then over here, want that to be leveled. Oh, we're still on this. Okay, stupid. All right, how high do we want the? Okay. That's gonna be messy with that terrain too. Like everywhere where it got blown up by that explosion is gonna be messy, messy, messy. That's fine. We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it when we get there. We're not at that part yet. We're here now. So, use selection. Level. Is it actually leveling it? Hard to say, right? No. Alright, I think we've got to not use this selection, as annoying as that is. I need to get character over to this side. Can't really tell what I'm doing cleanly enough with her being way over there. Alright. We really need this to be almost perfectly level, because if it's not, then the wall that we put on it is not going to be. So hard to tell. They've done such a great job hiding the voxels with some of these textures that it's really hard to tell if it's level. Especially because I can't get down below it. The camera. Alright, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to go ahead and switch over. We're going to go to normal temple. We're going to make that selection that we have. We're gonna set to leveling. We're gonna set a stack size of 5. And we're gonna put use selection. Is that going to the same level as everything else? No, it's slightly higher. It's not going to be the end of the world for an outside wall, though. But, okay, this might work. This might work. Get rid of this. Go down to brush size of 1. Oh, we don't want level here. Deposit. And we're going to fill this in manually because what we want to do is create something that's level with this surface here. Okay. Nope. Yeah, what it comes down to is that the stone underneath isn't level, so it's virtually impossible to get the tiles to be level. Yeah, geez, I don't know. I'm not sure. I kind of really want this to be level with the rest of the floor here. I guess there's one way to do it. One way to ensure that it is level. Alright. We're going full nuclear here. We're going full nukes. We're gonna use the selector. And we're gonna add everything up to there. Is that the right spot? Yeah. Alright, and we're gonna grab the terrain tool. We're gonna keep it on the rock. We're gonna ramp up to a massive brush size to make sure we're covering the whole thing. We're gonna set use selection. We're gonna dig that strip down to the bedrock. We're gonna take every last layer off of that strip and make it completely flat. All right, and now we'll build it back up again. whole strip getting filled at once. Still pretty far. We're still a decent amount below the surface here. Wow, that did not come in level. This area is still janky. As is this area. Right where it really needs to be perfectly level. Alright, we're gonna go down to elevation data of 1. Brush size 2 because this is 3 squares wide. And we're going to turn off the selection. Okay, that was interesting. I don't know why it chunked into the... Okay, let's see if that actually gives us something level now. Is that in the right spot? Yes, it is. Well, that gave me an interesting idea, those little slips did. All right. So we got a nice staircase. Our old wall is still a big mess down that side, but let's see. Let's see if we can get this to something approaching level. So it's always weird. I started off with perfectly flat ground here, and then I did that thing with the interred air, and it broke the terrain all across the map. So it's a bit of a challenge getting back to level. If I can find something that matches. Does that match? Yeah, okay. So if I take one out of there and then... This should allow me to get everything back to the same level for the most part. It was so easy when we first made this platform. We just made a big old square and plunked it all down in one piece and everything was level. I had to go and mess around with the terrain stuff. Alright, so now we should be able to get this to be... Does that look the same? Kind of does, right? So we go 1, 2. Did that level off? No, it's still janky. So annoying. Alright, you know what? I'm not gonna worry about that now. I'm gonna worry about the wall I'm working on. All right. So now we want to build up this side. I think we might want to do the same thing here, just to get roughly level. I think the best place to stand is going to be in the fire chute, basically. Get this as directly top down as we possibly can. And we'll go back and we'll use the edit selection again. First, we'll make sure we get everything old out of it. And then we'll draw a new selection. Okay. I'm going to use the selection, terrain tool, level, use the selection, and we want to go with a ginormous brush to make sure we get the entire thing in there. All right. All right, we're getting close, so we're gonna drop the selection, go down to a brush size of 1. Now we'll use the selection again. Okay. Switch to deposit. We're gonna match. That side has a pillar. We're gonna match that. Lava. Nope, it's way too high. Alright, and then here we're gonna build with Dark Temple. And it's still not level. I think we'll switch back over to regular temple here. Oh, what the hell did I just do? I need Control Z. Why did that happen? I don't even understand what happened. I was on the center mouse. I didn't even click a normal mouse wheel. All right, now we're talking. It kind of looks bad how it floats that much up above from that. I think I need to just build this out of the dark tower. Let's see. Terrain 1. This side's still higher than this side. Like the whole thing by 1 square. Alright, fine. We'll add a layer, 1 tile to everything over here. Do this. Support this game. It's amazing. I need it. You need it. Everybody support them, please. Alright. Stunad. Hmm. I'm a bit perplexed on this one. Normally, if I dig all that out and use level, it would fix it. It's alright, we'll worry about it later. It's fine. We don't need to mess with it right now. So that looks even. So it's these two. Want to deposit one layer. Make sure all that's unselected. Okay, that's looking better. And I think just for giggles, I'm not going to connect this to a waterfall inside the place, but I think I'm just going to fill this side with water. go to terrain, and go, let's see, verdant grass. Give us a nice big brush. Smooth average. Okay. All right, so now we got this bridge for the ring and we got these stairs, but the stairs are way higher. So we need to kind of do something about that. So we'll use our selection and make sure nothing is selected because we don't want to mess up anything how we did earlier. 3 wide. Okay. Oops. Why didn't the first one stick when I wanted? Okay, let's try that again. use selection, terrain editing. All right, now I think maybe one more. So what we want to do is build this up some, and then we're going to get rid of the filter. We're going to get rid of the selection, I mean, not the filter. And then go back to terrain. And I think we don't need the brush size of 10. I think 6 or 8 is going to be good. Okay, so first we'll start on this end. And we want to, yeah, smooth average is going to be fine. I think the first one we ought to do right about there. I nuked my stairs. Damn it. Why does that always happen? Alright. Brush size 2. Okay. Doing it again. Why do you do that? I did not click the mouse button. It's destroying my terrain. Oh, I don't know why it gets stuck like that sometimes. It just applies things with no mouse button clicked. Afraid to put the cursor anywhere near the stuff that's actually built. Okay. I don't know why we have a necro pillar in here, but necro torch, whatever it is. Okay, rid of that. Aha. Okay. Definitely a lot more fun to look at when the lava is in here. Oh, show. Okay. What do I think? We can. Oh, weird. The fire crystal moved. Alright, I think I'm gonna put a layer of dark down. What on earth are you doing, you thing? No! Stop! There's no mouse button pressed. Oh my god. All that time to level this stuff and it's gonna be all crooked now. Oh. Okay. Hey, what's up, bud? Yeah, I don't know if I'd call myself a master yet, but I'm certainly putting a lot of effort into learning it. So at some point, I'll earn that designation and really be able to teach people. Right now, I'm kind of working the way that Moonbeast is. I'm putting it out there for everybody to see while I'm developing it. Well, I appreciate that people like the stuff I'm making, that's for sure. What do you think? You like the fire-water duality going on? The idea that before the cataclysm there was a balance in nature between the energies, and after the cataclysm, because I found in the mats this red crystal and this blue crystal, so it feels like they got something coming with these. It certainly suggests some sort of duality, almost a conflict, maybe. So I'm going in with a balanced pre-cataclysm theme here. What the hell is that noise? Yeah, well, whatever lore they've got, they're not sharing yet, right? Which I don't blame them for, because if everybody knows the whole story before they play, that kind of takes the joy out of it. I mean, the mechanics they can't really hide, because they got to show that to get people to want to play it, but they don't have to give you the story. All right. Oh, I gotta stop walking the day-night slider. Let's see what it looks like in the middle of the night. Oh, yeah, that's good. Leave the editor. Why can't I leave the editor? Needs more. Feels too empty over here. Too much negative space. Think it needs more cowbell. see if we can fill this in neatly or if we're going to have to chop a bunch of blocks out again to fix this. Okay. Looks like it's fixing neatly, but we don't want dark tile. We want normal temple. Oh, what a bit of luck that was. Okay, all that's fixed without too much fuss. Alright, that guy's gotta go up one. Cool. I'll be here. I'm just taking my time. I'm not trying to put on a show. I find that when I do that, I start screwing up my building, so I'm just building my thing, and if people want to watch, awesome. And I'll answer questions, but I'm not going to try to entertain. So I got to be focused on what I'm doing. Alright. Alright, that looks pretty even. This one tile's a little higher than everything else. It actually looks kind of cool. I kind of almost wish it was like that here. Oh, that tile's empty over here. So maybe we can make it that way. No, snapped in even like everything else. I guess you notice it a little bit less if I do that. No, not really though, right? I think maybe taking those columns out is going to be less noticeable than having it there with a different height. Not really sure what that's for yet. Maybe I'll just, yeah, maybe it needs to just come out of there. Doesn't have a purpose, it's probably not needed. That's pretty dope. Alright, I think the water crystal needs to be raised up a bit more too then. Definitely does. And the fire crystal needs to go back to center. I wish there was something that looked as cool for the water crystal to be on. I wonder if it would sit on top of any of these other decorative things. Oh no, that's way too big. Too big? Too big. Too small. Too small. Too small. That could be an interesting thing for the water crystal to sit on. always like pictures better when there's people in them. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, buddy. I think we need to give her a little bit of a boost here. Oh, why is that? Why is there a hole there? That's kind of weird. Lost my perfect moment for the sky. Oh, what the hell happened to the water crystal? Oh, it's there. Weird. Why didn't I see it? Come on. No sky. Come on. Sky was dope. Oh yeah, this is gonna be the play. This angle. I think maybe she needs to stand on here with one. Yo, Lum, why are you looking over there? Look at the camera, buddy. Come on, Lum. We brought you all the way up here for this photo shoot and just standing there staring off into space. Honestly, dude, come on. Get with the program. He's not even... He's like, I don't care. I'm Lum. I'm gonna stand where I want to stand and look where I want to look, and I don't care what you're talking about. Oh, there he is. Hello! I guess that works. But now she's standing in the stairs. We won't see that from here. Now we lost our stars again. I don't know why the stars... Well, I guess, yeah, it's the fog. Stars come and go with the fog. Hmm. Alright. I think I'm gonna take a break from the stream for a while because I'm not sure what to build, and when I start just doing stuff with no idea, that's when it usually turns to poo. So I'm gonna leave it here for the moment. But yeah, I'm thinking I might want to put like a tree here, like borrow something from Tolkien and like, I don't know. I gotta come up with a more clear idea of what I want to do. This is definitely too much negative space over here. It can't all be empty with all this crowded like that. There gotta be something there. I just don't know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. A tree, a big old tree, probably the biggest tree I can find, and maybe like some verdant grass around it with a wall. It will be a real challenge to get anything that looks anything like a circle to put it in, but we'll see. We shall see. Anywho, I'm going to take a break and let the subconscious chew on it while I chew on some monsters, and we'll get back to streaming this later, or maybe not. Maybe I'll try hardcore again, but this time not on Legendary, and we'll see. We'll see if you guys can get some more laughs at my expense, dying over and over. So, all right. Well, thank you, anybody who watched this. Meansky, shout out. Derek, shout out. Thank you, guys. Really helps when you come in. But yeah, that is gonna do it for now. Until later.